Alright, so everyone's talking about the big names in AI and RWA right now. But let's be honest, by the time something's trending on Twitter, it's already up 10 times, and you're basically exit liquidity for the early guys. That's why today's video is all about the low cap projects. I'm talking about real hidden gems in the RWA and AI narrative that are still under the radar. But they've got serious upside if, and I mean if, they deliver on what they're building. I've spent the past few days digging through some of the least talked about high potential altcoins, combining real world assets and AI. And these are the 5 projects I genuinely think could surprise everyone in the 2025 bull run. So yeah, this isn't going to be one of those recycled buy Teo and AGIX videos. Let's talk small caps, serious upside, and what actually makes these coins worth watching right now. Let's start with Centrifuge, or CFG. This one might be the most well-known on the list, but it's still flying way under the radar compared to the bigger names in DeFi. What I like about Centrifuge is that it actually does what a lot of protocols say they do. It brings real-world assets like real estate, invoices, and royalties onto the blockchain and turns them into collateral for loans. So imagine this. Instead of borrowing against some dog token, you're locking in actual income-producing assets. CFG makes that possible. Now, why do I care about this one in the context of 2025? Well, simple. Institutions are coming, and when they do, they're not going to ape into meme coins. They'll want real yield on chain with real backing. Centrifuge already connects to MakerDAO and Aave, which shows it's playing in the big leagues. The token's still small cap compared to its potential, and if the RWA narrative gets the spotlight in this, one could be one of the first movers. Next up is a project that honestly just makes sense. LandX, ticker LNDX. This one is aiming to tokenize something that barely anyone in crypto talks about: agriculture. Here's the pitch. Farmers need upfront capital to grow crops, and LandX gives it to them in exchange for a percentage of their future harvest revenue. Sounds basic, right? But now imagine it on-chain, with every contract tokenized, tradable, and transparent. It's like turning crop futures into DeFi. Now, I'm not saying it's the sexiest play in crypto. You're not going to see Elon Musk tweeting about this one. But that's kind of the point. It's boring, it's real, and it solves a legit problem in a sector that's valued in trillions globally. The market cap is low. It hasn't had its breakout moment yet. And if real-world utility becomes the next big narrative, this could easily be one of the most slept-on plays in the RWA sector. Now, this one is really flying under the radar: Red Belly Network. It came out of a university research team in Sydney and is all about tokenizing assets in a fully compliant enterprise-level way. So if you're into boring but powerful back-end infrastructure, this is your play. What I like is they're not trying to be flashy. They're trying to actually build a system that banks and institutions could use without breaking the law. They're focused on security, speed, and regulatory approval, not hype. There's not a ton of retail hype around it yet, and that's exactly why I'm mentioning it. Because once you hear Red Belly integrates with XYZ government pilot program in a press release one day, it'll already be too late. The market cap is micro compared to the problem it's trying to solve, and I'd keep a close eye on this one as we get closer to the end of the year, especially if regulators loosen up and start pushing asset tokenization at scale. All right, switching gears a bit, let's talk about Clearpool, ticker CPOOL. This project sits right in that sweet spot between DeFi and TradFi. Their goal is to bring unsecured lending to institutions on-chain. Yeah, that sounds kind of risky, but it's actually pretty smart. They use a system of whitelisted borrowers and underwriters to manage the risks, and everything is transparent on-chain. What makes this interesting is the potential upside. Right now, Clearpool is being used by a small group of institutional players, but if things like tokenized treasuries and on-chain credit scores start gaining traction, Clearpool could explode in relevance. The token's been sleeping for a while, but the tech is solid And if lending becomes the hot topic in Q4, especially with RWA and yield farming 2.0 making a comeback, CPOOL might finally get its moment. It's not the flashiest pick on the list, but it has that slow burn potential to 10x or more if the right narratives line up. Alright, let's end with a bit of AI in the mix. Aleph.em, ticker ALEPH. Now this one isn't a pure RWA play, but it fits perfectly in the AI plus infrastructure space, and it's still low cap. Aleph is basically a decentralized cloud computing network. You can think of it like a lighter, leaner version of Filecoin, but with a specific focus on supporting DeFi, NFTs, and now AI tools. What I like about Aleph is that it's already being used. It's not just we're building vibes. It's integrated with things like Serum and Radium. And with AI applications growing fast, having a decentralized backend for computation and storage is going to be critical. The upside is still there, and the narrative crossover between AI plus DPIN plus RWA makes it one of the most interesting smaller projects to watch in the second half of 2025. So yeah, those are my top 5 low-cap picks in the RWA and AI sectors for 2025. None of these are guaranteed to moon. Let's be real, the market can flip fast and low caps are risky, but that's where the big gains actually come from. If you play your entries smart and stay patient, personally, I'd rather take the risk on something like Landex or Aleph.im before it hits the front page of every crypto blog than FOMO into another overhyped layer 2 that's already up 40x. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, drop your favorite low-cap altcoin in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Catch you in the next one. Peace.